Should set up my microphone. Let's say waiting. It's 10:40. Why does it still say waiting? Is this? Wow. Okay. That was weird. Hopefully you guys enjoy the music. Try to add a little bit of a 80s retro flair to remind you of some sort of like nostalgic video games for those who've played some old arcade like shooter games. I do have it set so that way the volume adjusts anytime I talk to lower down, so that way you can hear me. What's this? Flat route, I can do a flat route. Just warming up, because today we are doing, let's turn on sauce real quick, so I can see text messages. One thing at some point I'll have to test and work on is my microphone sensitivity, because it seems to want to, basically anytime I stop talking, it like amplifies the gain. And so it ends up picking up all sorts of random noise. Let me check. Change one other thing. I don't want the volume to go to zero. So, features. Let's see. Do a compression 4:1. Now, if you haven't looked at the race profiles for today, we are going to be in York, bouncing between Yorkshire and Crit City. And so the first round is basically like where the Queens Highway after party is at, like that loop. And then we go to downtown Dolphin, and then back to Queens Highway, and then back to the Bell Lap. And so I'm on the DT, or sorry, not DTs. I'm on the new NV45 Pros. Trying to test them out. Hoping to get some climbing gains. That's really where the wheels make the most impact. They're slightly slower on the flats. Not by much though, but slightly. But we'll see. I think it's just one power up per race. At least that's the way I've been operating off of. And so I should have, while I was on the Zwift Insider page this morning looking at the routes, I should have looked at the actual rules. And so that's what I'm gonna operate off of. Just one power up per race. I think at the end of the day, if you can race well and strategically use your power ups, then that will really help you identify whether or not you're strong enough to race in the categories you're in. And so I'm gonna edit the race that I did yesterday, midday race a higher category than what my ZRS is, and man, oh man, I got destroyed. And looking at my power numbers, I actually did worse this race than I did the previous race. But one of the things that I was going to point out is the fact that I used my power up in order to stay in the race. And so I used it at a point where it basically gave me the ability to catch up to the group. I was a couple seconds off the back. I knew I wasn't going to be able to push to catch up to them. And so I used my draft bus, and it allowed me to catch up to the group. Stayed on the wheel for a little while longer, but basically the next opportunity they got to drop me, I just could not keep up. And so I feel like while I used my power up at a good time, I think had I have used it where I got dropped at instead of where I initially started falling off the back, I think maybe I could have held on a little longer. I wasn't going to keep up with them anyways, because going up the castle climb, it was brutal. I was going 700-800 watts and only keeping up. Like, I was not going that fast. And that's with the new wheels, which are a little bit better at climbing than the 65s. And so that's how racing goes, though. And it being a midday race, it's different. Like, I'm not used to, these morning races are actually harder for me. Like, my body's not prepared to put out that effort. And if you look at, there's good research and it's showing that depending on what you're doing, like low intensity endurance exercises are better in the morning, but high intensity exercises are better in the afternoon because your body's you've already fueled up for the day and your body's in the process of kind of putting nutrients where they need to go. Versus in the morning, you're just coming out of repair mode overnight and your body's kind of in a I just need stuff. Like, let's store everything. Let's get what we need. Yo, what's up, Ray? Just warming up my legs. As well, I'm at the higher end of this category. My score did drop yesterday to 548 for my race. But I still feel good. Oh, I know what I did wrong. I put the compression too far up. I need to bring the compression down. This is the life of someone in IT. You're always troubleshooting in your brain and identifying things and trying to figure out what that one change resulted in. So I watched MK Power Plant sent me a channel last week of a guy in Japan that he does a 5 a.m. race, 5 a.m. Eastern for us, which is like probably mid-afternoon or end of afternoon for him. And it didn't seem like people were going easy. That first race, it split that. So there's 2 essentially climbs. The first hill comes rather quickly, and then you come back down into a valley, and then you basically are climbing the rest of the stage until the champion sprint, or whatever the sprint is called at the end, which that is an uphill sprint. So it's ideally you want to be on a bike that's going to complement your ability to climb. And considering the ethos, but Marky Mark Zwift, what's up, buddy? But I don't know if I should switch to my ethos, just because my SL5 is already upgraded, or SL8 already upgraded all the way to level 5. And so looks like my sauce mod is not working for the chats. How much time we got? We got 10 minutes. Make the OBS adjustment. Oh, that's not gonna work. I just dropped my can of energy drink. Grab a replacement. I don't need that thing exploding. All right, OBS. Do 1.5. Should be in a good spot. Yeah, it's a good spot there. All right. Oh, I was going to check sauce. Oh, that's why. I don't have the chat open. This is the one aspect of, like, I like streaming because I don't need to edit anything afterwards. But at the same time, if you're not prepared, then you end up like having to fight your equipment. Minutes before you start a race is not the best time to be fighting your equipment. So, now for those of you who have virtual shifting, have you seen a shift in, so like I typically ride the 1.8 to like 2.0 bot, and I feel like in order for me to stay in that range, I feel like I have to use a higher gear than I normally would. And that's since the 1.95 update. So 2 updates ago now. And so if you have, granted I have the Elite Justo, the version 1. And so maybe it's because of that. Maybe those with the more compatible hardware have not had any issues. It'd be interesting to know whether or not anyone's noticed something similar. Thanks, Greg. You too. Especially if you and Paul are working together today again. It'll be nice to try and hold on to your wheels. Although I think you guys have better climbing. You guys are better at climbing than I am, so. Let me shut that off. Almost there. Getting warmed up. Man, my legs hurt from yesterday. Oh, cool. So if I see them, I will do my best to hold on to their wheels. The Swagger is definitely a strong team. But I appreciate you hanging out. Just warming up the legs. Yo, what's up, JD? We get to 8 kilometers. If I could, I would. This is not these courses are not designed for me. I love the punchy short courses like this, especially the Yorkshire routes, because the climbs are all about your 5-minute threshold. But it being tiny races means trying to stay with these top end guys for 5 minutes, well above my 5-minute power. And so we'll see how today goes. The Crit City courses I know all too well. I will say I like the downtown Dolphin route better than the Bell Lap. And oftentimes people will say that the downtown Dolphin going up the long side of the climb is harder, but going from the rollers and then into the steep side of the climb, I feel like is worse. For me, at least. It doesn't suit my style. All right, let's go into the event and drink anything what I was supposed to drink, like always. All right. I'm gonna adjust my mic so it doesn't pick up my breathing the whole time. There's no real good place to put it on my bike. Remember, if you want to use any of the action items, you can use the command !but how, B-U-T-H-O-W, and it'll give you a list of different commands you can run. Most of that is, I set it up because when I'm on other people's streams, I feel like I try to insert them at appropriate points in the race. Although for Collins races, I seem to only always remember the do your best. And so I gotta remember to use others all the time. All right, so far a couple names. Recognize B-Box or Beeble Bronx. Pretty sure he was in the race that I was in on Friday and smashed it. And so there's a couple people that I've ridden with in the past, only because I see them highlighted. MK Power Plant, oh, he's in this pen? Oh, dude, it's exciting. He is, so if you look at his streams, his races, he's got some serious power. I don't think he just acknowledges it enough. But his sprint is right up there with mine in terms of power, even after a long race. And that's where I think he could have the upper hand on me, is he can hold his power at the end of a race, where I'm still working on that always. But lots of, so far over 100 people in the pen. And the Zwift shows 115. My companion app shows 101. I think Sauce adds an extra person. So for people that are using Sauce, you'll see a higher number. Got Darren in the race. Ooh, 36 seconds. All right, well, here we go. Get out of my phone and into the race. Oh. 350s, 351. Good luck, guys, because if that matches your accurate score and not just like a baseline because you've been riding outdoors for the last 7 months, then yeah. All right, here we go. Wow. Good luck, Darren. I saw your name pop up in there, in the pen. Gears are finally engaging. Oh man, too much quad use. Oh my God. Oh my God. Jesus. Good job, Darren. Dude, your power's come up big time. Oh, that hurts. I was worried about that last time that I wasn't paying attention to where the sprint was at. I completely missed the start of the sprint. Oh my God. All right, time to switch wheels. Oh my God. At least I got 7 and change. Oh my God. And so the song I Need a Hero came on right in the last like kilometer. I'm like, all right, here we go, good song, motivational. Kind of gave me a, like, hey, this is what you're made of. And so I kind of got in my head without paying attention where the end was at. Trying to cool myself down, cool my core. And so, it's fine. So if you've never seen my little ice pack pad, basically what I'm doing is trying to take advantage of the body's natural ability to cool. And so there's a network of blood vessels in the palms, bottom of the feet, and the forehead that are called, oh, I would love to jump in an ice bath in between. They're called anastomosis, I think. Anastomosis, something like that. Andrew Huberman talks about it. But basically, they're blood vessels that link the arteries and veins bypassing the capillaries. And so if you can cool your blood in circulation, it'll help bring down your core temperature. I don't really have enough time to do that. And so my goal is to basically be able to buffer my core body temperature. So that way, not only I can bring my heart rate down further, but also keep my temperature from rising. And so I'm using the core sensor to kind of keep an eye on that. You can see my top left. And again, it's not something that's really easy to do while you're working out. You should be doing it basically while you're sitting still. But I don't have time for that. Let's see if this is the direction I'm thinking it is. Now, I will say last week, I came in, I think 19th place, something like that, 20th place, top 20. Darren came in 11th, I believe, or 10th, which is awesome. And then I think Drew Paul Hill was like 17th, 16th, around there. Because on that last race, he was like, dude, my legs just snapped. Like he could not. And that's, you know, if you're not used to these races, they are hard. It's, you know, 5 to 10 minutes of high VO2 as much as possible, and then you get a few minutes rest in between, hopefully. So we got 3 laps downtown Dolphin, which again, I'm hoping this is the direction I'm thinking of, where we go the long way up the hill. And then, because the reason why I like that direction is because you're coming downhill, and then the little humps right near the start banner, you're basically still going in a downward direction. And so they're in like a de-escalating fashion. And so it's easier to just kind of roll over them with minimal power. Versus the other direction, the bell lap, you're going uphill the whole way. So you go up those little rollers and then up the steep side of the climb. And yeah, the downhill is long, but it's, you know, at its steepest is 2%, something like that. So you're not really getting a lot of, momentum, where you can kind of change the dynamics of the race. Oh, thanks, Darren. Hey, good job on fourth, man. Fantastic finish on your part. I tried catching that front group, but man, I was just dangling off the back the rest of the climb. So painful. So painful. I need to make this thing colder, because this thing is not cooling down at all. And it's really because I put 2 like large cups of ice. Those of you from Florida know Flanagan's. I use 2 of their cups of ice in like half a gallon or a gallon of water, something like that. But it's not enough to cool down the pad. There's also a temperature gradient. You don't want it too cold where your blood vessels retract. Ooh, that could have been bad. Matter of fact, let me grab that. Got my little sweat rag here. All right, here we go again. 20 seconds. All right. Okay. Still over 100 people, 130. Big group. That's not good. Not the gear cable.
Fucking rag went in between my gears almost. Oh my God. Oh my God. So I got the direction of the hills correctly, but not of the actual KOM. So I like this direction, where it's a short, go with the 8 dose this time, where it's the short, the short steep climb, because of the fact that the hills are in a downward gradient, versus the bell lap, you go up the long side, or you start off with the hills in an upward direction, in an escalating direction, and then you're going the long side up the KOM. Oh my God. This thing almost got into my gears. Let me take this off. Put this on. My man, you know, it's sort of literally dangling right next to my foot. I could feel it rubbing against my calf. Thankfully, it got caught by the that's my calculated core body temperature is 101 right now. Yeah, it's so around 100 degrees I feel really good. And so there's a sweet spot where you want to be. You don't want to be completely cool, like 98 degrees, but you also don't want to be over 102. And so if you can maintain that sweet spot, oh, come on, Zwift. If you can maintain that sweet spot of like 100-ish, then what it does is it kind of mobilizes more things. And so that's the problem. If you get too hot, your body's like, all right, we need to conserve. But if you're too cold, your body's like, we don't need to do anything, so why are we gonna put all this effort into moving things around? So it's a constant push-pull. Pushing certain levers, pulling other levers. And like, definitely, like without the aid of different devices, it's hard to interpret what that feels like. So for me, it's easier to see like using the core sensor, using not just heart rate monitor, but I have an indirect calorimeter mask that I use to measure my caloric output. It directly measures oxygen intake and carbon dioxide exhalation. And so you know not only what fuel you're using, but also how much of it. And so GCM put out a video this week kind of talking about the same thing. But it's, in my opinion, it's an okay video. Feels kind of rushed because fuel consumption is very, very nuanced. Like, if you're doing zone 2, you could do zone 2 for hours without ever needing to take in carbs. That same thing with VO2. You can do VO2 for an hour, or threshold really, for an hour, and not need to take in, you know, fats, because your body's just not, your body's kind of conserving that for other processes other than to sustain your workout. And so your body will alternate fuel uses to where it's needed the most. And then also learning there's a difference between fat burning and using ketones. Not the same thing. So when people are like, oh, you don't use, you know, you're burning fat and VO2. Like, well, if you're in ketosis, you're using a bit of both. Same thing when you're getting into higher end workouts. If you're in ketosis, you're using ketones just as much as you are carbs. But the output looks the same because they both break down into carbon dioxide, oxygen, and other molecules that you breathe out. Yeah, enough of that. Enough of my rant. I really hope this Athos helps me, because I don't know if I'm gonna make it up to that 4th stage without conserving some energy here. All right. right, here we go again. And for those of you looking to take on New York, Rizz is putting on a September 11th charity ride in the New York map. I've put a post about it on the channel. If not, check in one of the various Discords that I'm in, Rizz is in, for the event details. It's gonna be fun. And again, for a good cause. Ooh, a bad place to use your feather. Cresting over the top. What's up, Colin? Looks like we lost about a dozen people in the last race of this one. Oh my God. Oh my God, my legs. Ah. Jesus. Oh my God. Oh my God, my legs. Jesus. Maybe those help, but not that much. Those downhills were definitely harder. Oh my God. Oh. Okay. Nice. Pull down. Oh man. God, that hurt. Actually, I'm gonna go with No, let's stick with these wheels. Man. Oh my God. That's the danger of hanging off the back. I missed that split and I just wasn't gonna catch them. I could have probably stayed on the back had I stayed with them on that downhill. Like if I would have stayed close enough to catch them on the downhill, but nope, did not happen. Man, there's a reel that I saw the other day of someone doing that. It's like when you're riding with the fast group and they start gapping, you're like, help, help, don't leave me. That's what it felt like. I was watching the distance, the gap grow from like 3 seconds, 4 seconds. When I saw 5 seconds, I was like, ah, dang it. I knew I wasn't gonna catch them on the uphill. And then once I get to the downhill, they're so much faster as a group. Like I said, well, the ethos felt good on the climb. Man, I was pushing harder than I wanted to on the downhill. And so, it is what it is. Oh man. Last race. What's up, Seth? I saw you pop into the chat there. How many ITTs have you done this week? Or today alone? As an ITT master. Probably taught Remco everything he knows. Which if you guys aren't watching the Volta, definitely some good racing. But I watched the TTT the other day. And man, oh man. Watching the TTT and then watching the WTRL TTT, it is almost like two different races. You can see with the, and maybe that's just the group that I'm in. What's up, Darren? You can stand on my head. That would be awesome if we could do that. But their TTTs were like, I mean, just it's like literally watching a bullet train work. Yeah, they've had their issues here and there with people going offline or slamming into things. But the teams that rode successful, it was like 30-second pulls, probably at like 7 watts, 8 watts. Thanks, Camille. Appreciate it, buddy. And then it's like, all right, 5 kilometers in, you peel off, you're done. 10 kilometers in, you peel off, you're done. 15, you peel off, you're like you could see how the plan went. And the announcers are like, yep, this person's good to have on the front because they're super strong and they can hold the pace for a while. Let's see if a little bit of extra caffeine and B vitamins does anything for me at the end here. KDX is good. I will say though that my, what's the brand? It's the Blue Tri-Bike. And the brand is escaping me at the moment. I like that one a little better than the KDX because it's more manageable on climbs than the KDX is. The felts, that's what it is. Oh, my legs. Oh my God, my quads. Oh my God, my quads. Well, that's no bueno. Ah. Oh my God. Oh my God, my legs. Ah. Ah. Oh my God. Ah. Oh my God, my quads. Thanks, man. That's why I hate this direction. These rollers. Oh my God. JD talking about doing legs and squats. That's what I feel like going over these rollers. Take that back to back hard effort. Oh my God. At least I made up some places at the end. And there goes first place. Let me see if I can high five him on the way. And TFC, not shocked, they're a strong group. Take care, Colin. Have fun. Yeah, hit 7 kilometers here. Switch to camera 1. So y'all can see this sweat is real. I'm an athlete, and if you know where that's from, let me know. For those who spend their weekends watching other styles of racing, might know where that's from. Yes, the sweat is real. I am an athlete. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Yeah, I will every now and then get people ask like, oh, you, like, I was at a friend's house and she's battling through brain cancer and her nurse was there. And the nurse is like, do you ride bikes? I'm like, why? And she's like, your calves are huge. And I was like, oh yeah, I dabble in bike riding. Never understand how to explain to people that, like, I do a lot of e-sports cycling bike racing. Like, it's a thing that doesn't exist, but we exist in a small corner of the internet. And we exercise a lot harder than any other esports athlete out there. I don't care what game you play. This is hard. And it might be a game to some people. It's not a game to me. All right, enough of my rambling. I'm gonna go fry myself in the shower while I throw some hot water on the legs and try and get some sort of sense of functionality back. But I appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. Let me pop into the channel real quick. It's always appreciative for those of you who come by, hang out, spend your Saturday morning with me. Steph, JD, Colin, Camille, Greg, Darren, Ray, see you in there, Rizz. Thanks, guys. And remember, Rizz putting on a race September 11th, the New York City map. If you're not afraid to race in New York City, jump in. It's for a charity, good charity cause. And so we're gonna have a lot of fun tearing up New York City in Zwift, and then breaking some legs in the process. But yeah, so go check that out. Like I said, I'll put the event information in the description, as well as I did a post about it a couple days ago. So feel free to check the community posts or just jump into the Discord. I'll put Rizz's Discord in my channel description as well. For those who want to join, jump in. It's going to be an awesome event. He's got 2 time slots, midday, which is morning time for West Coast, and then also evening time, East Coast, which is afternoon for them. And so 2 different times, I think 2 p.m. and 8 p.m. for the East Coast. And then, yeah, so feel free to check it out. And did I lose 5 points over the series? Probably. I wouldn't be shocked. I would have thought I would have stayed the same considering how many people raced, and I've finished above the halfway mark on all the stages. But this was a fun event. Tough, but fun. So, all right, guys, appreciate you. I'm gonna head out, get the family stuff taken care of. And again, thanks for stopping by, watching this torture on a Saturday morning. And by the way, AJ from Road to A is gonna be doing his own live stream here soon. If it's not started already, feel free to check it out. He's doing an Alp to Zwift, I think 50-minute PR attempt. So feel free to pop in there, give him a shout out, and I will see you guys on Monday. If you're racing on Monday, that is. Take care, guys.